Warning, the RCWR Show with Lee Sanders is intended for a mature audience only. The following is an Infinity One Productions presentation, keeping it honest, insightful, and interactive. Covering the latest in wrestling and beyond since 2011. You're listening to the RCWR Show. Now, your host, live from the nation's capital in Washington, D.C., Lee Sanders.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Lee Sanders here, checking out all new the RCWR Show, dropping for Monday night of March 29th, 2021. What is good? Good kind people. Man, here we are. We are a little bit over a week from WrestleMania weekend. Going to be a very, very busy week that we got coming up, man. Hope you guys are ready for it, because it's going to be just balls out crazy this coming week. I mean, there's pretty much, I haven't even begun to sit down and do the programming list yet, as far as, okay, this is what all's going to be airing, and as far as what shows we're going to be putting out that week. I haven't even begun to sit down and try to map all that out just yet. First things first, I got to see what's going on with the work schedule coming up for that respective week. That way I can plan accordingly, because right now I only know but a couple of the days that's a guarantee. Okay, we're definitely going to be on this very night, but that's kind of up in the air. But I know we're definitely going to be doing a lot of coverage WrestleMania week, man. Hey, I got a poll because I want to know what you guys had thought about this week's Raw. Actually, I'm keeping it a little bit simple tonight. I know usually we put something out there on Twitter and everything, but I want to take it easy this go round. I just want to have the poll be available for YouTube. So youtube.com/the RCWR Show. Click on the communities tab. That's a shout out to those of you that's going to be listening to this very episode on demand and on the downloads. If you can't join us live, you really should go out of your way. You got some free time on the Monday nights after Raw particularly goes off the air. Hop on live via YouTube or Twitch or the Facebook. We're all over the place. Just use the keywords, the RCWR Show, and you can pretty much join us live, interact that way, interact with the folks that's checking out the show live and everything. And yeah, but it should be a good week. I'm looking forward to WrestleMania week. Legitimately, I am looking forward to WrestleMania week. But I got a poll up asking you guys, what did you think about WWE Raw? So sound off on that. Just put that poll up not too long ago, and I will poke my head in there and see what's going on with you guys and how you're voting in a little bit. All right. So to go tonight, I want this to be as short of a show as possible. I've got a very busy work week. I'm telling you guys that right now. I just got a little bit of a nice little workload as far as homework assignment goes as well. So there's a lot I am juggling this week, but work is really the main one, because as we're making that push to Easter weekend, yeah, I was so used to getting my you know how it is with work sometimes. Those of you, I'm sure you can relate to this. Just when you're starting to get used to having a nice set schedule, shit gets flipped up and you're like, and you pretty much got to work with that while working with everything else you got going on outside of work. That's pretty much the position that I'm in right now. So the goal tonight, I want to do, and you know what, honestly, there really hasn't been that much that's been happening in between the shows, because the last time we did a show was actually Thursday. And if you guys are looking for that Thursday show, right now it's only available on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Periscope, and Twitter. I haven't made the audio version of it be available for on demand and the downloads. What I'll probably end up doing, since it was last Thursday, I'll just make that episode, just the audio version, I'll make that be available on our Patreon page for everybody to be able to access for free. So, kind of my way of saying sorry about that, but hectic schedule. But no, what I want to do tonight, since really not much has happened since we were last on the air, I want to just be in and out. So if we can kind of do this about an hour, hour 10 tops, I mean, I think that's pretty fucking good because we're going to be coming right back anyway on Wednesday night, and we're going to be talking about NXT and AEW and all that. All things AEW. Definitely going to be talking about NXT, previewing that TakeOver card. So I'm looking forward to that. So we can definitely get into a little bit more. Have that be a little bit more of a deluxe edition on Wednesday night. So let's see what we can do during this next hour plus. All right. We got the chat open. Definitely want to hear from you guys. I am seeing what you guys are saying in the chat. Look, a lot of shitty parts to Monday's WWE Raw, man. A lot of shitty parts. There definitely was, no bull, a lot of cringe-worthy parts to tonight's Monday Night Raw as we are on that move to WrestleMania. You had a couple of bright spots that was definitely in there. And do me a favor, guys. Sadly, I am poquito, as far as yo habla español, español is muy poquito. Okay? So I say that, please, if you're going to speak another language, respect my language, and at least try to, even if your English is broken, at least post in English. If you cannot post in English, then the best thing I can say is just kick back and just, enjoy the show. Because when you post in a different language, you then put me in a position where I got to go out of my way physically just to try to see what you guys are saying in social media, particularly to make sure that what you're saying is not derogatory. Kind of like what I'm seeing right now. I'm not saying it's derogatory, but I'm looking at a comment that's on our Facebook stream right now, and I have no idea what this person is saying, sadly. So when we have hiccups like that, I got to stop what I'm doing, and I got to basically brush up on my translation. So, please don't do that. Don't do that. Just kick back, enjoy the show. You guys will be good to go. All right. So let's see what's going on here. Give me 1 second here. Okay. I want to translate that to English. Yeah. And see, that doesn't even have anything to do with the damn show. So sadly, I gotta block that. Somebody posted something via Facebook about cannabis or some stupid shit like that. So give me a second here, guys. It happens. It happens. We're live, pal. It happens. That's kind of one of our preludes to fucking tonight with what had went down with fucking Matt Riddle. Poor fucking Matt Riddle. All right, hang on 1 second, guys. Let's see here. Where are the comments? There we go. And we are going to delete that. Give me a second, guys. There we go. And we deleted that. Okay. Once again, I'm watching what y'all are saying via Facebook. So you think you're going to be able to get away with something? Actually myself and somebody else is watching what you guys are saying in the chat. So, just FYI. Anyway, where were we? Yeah, a lot of shitty parts to tonight's WWE Raw. A couple of bright spots in there as well. But I tell you what, man. All right, I tell you what. Let's go in and let's talk about a lot of the bad that came our way, and we'll save the good for a little bit later. First off, from the break, I don't like the fact that officially the Hurt Business is no more. The Hurt Business, they are done. They are done. If you did not watch Raw tonight, this pretty much was established at the start of Monday Night Raw. We had the new WWE champion, Lashley, come out with MVP. And Lashley reminding us about that bounty that he's put on the head of Drew McIntyre. He wants for anybody to step up, take out McIntyre, and if they're successful, then they will get a title shot opportunity against Lashley. So Lashley reiterating that to pretty much start WWE Raw, but at the same time focusing his attention towards Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander reminding them how they failed tremendously last week when they had that handicap match opportunity against McIntyre. And had they won, they would have won the right to be at ringside during Lashley's title defense against Drew McIntyre. Lashley beyond pissed off what was going on there, just beyond pissed that they failed miserably in that attempt. And as a result of that, he looked at them as significantly being weak. He looked at them as significantly being nothing more than dead weight. And as a result of that, kick to the curb was pretty much what went down. And I couldn't believe what I was watching right before my eyes as this was playing out. I couldn't believe it, but there was a little part of me that was just a tiny little bit excited as well, more so for a guy like Shelton Benjamin as opposed to a guy like Cedric Alexander, because it was nice seeing Lashley just chomp at the bits. I mean, just giving both of these guys a tongue lashing, but particularly seeing Shelton Benjamin stand his ground. Who the hell you think you're talking to like that? For everything we've done for you, you think you can just talk to me like, like this? You legit, like, you couldn't fucking handle this shit in the back? Talk to us about this in the back, handle this business in the back like true professionals. Don't come out here and embarrass us like this on national TV. I love how he went toe to toe with Lashley like that. MVP trying to get control of it, but Shelton coming right back. Nah, man, you ain't gonna talk to me like I'm some little kid. I loved all of that. I ate all of that shit up. I love that friction. I love that heated friction that was going on, particularly between Lashley and Shelton. I legit felt a little bit of magic in there. So it was nice seeing the both of them brawling a little bit. Cedric Alexander brawling in there as well, but pretty much getting owned by Lashley, whereas Shelton kind of maintaining himself a bit. Actually got the one up on Lashley there briefly and everything. So, I enjoyed seeing that, but very, very heartbroken over the fact that the Hurt Business is no more. Right down to the point, there was a post that I put out on Twitter. If you guys got the Twitter and, you're around on Monday nights, kind of like me, and you're watching the shows and everything, you guys are more than welcome to, tweet my way and everything at the RCWR Show. But, it's kind of like what I had said. As soon as this was playing out in real time, I didn't, overthink or anything like that. I just speak from the heart. And I'm paraphrasing here, because I don't know exactly what I posted online, but you can see for yourself because I didn't really post that much during the broadcast tonight. But my overall takeaway of the Hurt Business was, man, very seldom do you have a really great stable that comes around that clicks with all the wrestling fans, that the fans really fucking get behind. Very seldom, because nowadays it's just, this show's got like 2, 3, 4 fucking stables running around, and this promotion over here has about 3 fucking stables running around, and this one, it's like all these stables that's running around, but how many of them actually click? You right? All the guys that's in this stable, how many of these guys in this stable actually click with one another? It makes all the sense in the world. You can literally feel the chemistry between these guys. I just feel natural what you're seeing of these men and or women playing out before your eyes each week. And then, okay, is this a stable that you as a fan can really get behind to the point you can get behind it? And if some new merchandise were to come out, t-shirts, you name it, like, take my money, I so want to check that out. You feel where I'm coming from? Very seldom do you have all of those things align and it works perfectly, let alone, and I wouldn't be speaking from the heart as a black man if I didn't say this next part. All right, so to my brothers and sisters out there, either you sometimes be feeling as though, oh man, Lee doesn't kind of really give enough love to, some of the black athletes, in the world of pro wrestling or whatever. Yeah, he'll show his love to the football and the NBA and all that, but, he doesn't really seem like he really goes out of his way a lot to really highlight, some of these black professionals in wrestling. speaking as a black man, very seldom do you see an all black stable come around that has tremendous opportunity, that is definitely successful, and you just got to continue to ride that bad boy out. I thought Hurt Business was going to be around, realistically, no bullshit. I thought Hurt Business was going to be around until at least fall of 2021. I thought maybe that was at least what was going to happen. But it didn't turn out that way. It did not turn out that way. If you would have told me, hey Lee, Hurt Business fall 2021, I'd have said to you, that's perfectly fine. I'm totally okay with that. That's more than enough ample time to really build up the cachet for all of these men involved in the Hurt Business and everything. And we can pretty much go from there. And, we're going to have it be a case where it's the fall. Okay, well, maybe we'll have a scenario where, all right, fall, okay, that's enough time to pretty much maybe build towards the Royal Rumble. And, okay, who's maybe from the Hurt Business now that everybody's pretty much going their own separate way there? Who maybe is going to come out on top successful and everything. But the fact that it ended here tonight, very heartbroken. And also it just leaves me scratching my head wondering, WWE, WTF, you had a really good thing that was going on that was universally accepted by many fans. Universally accepted by many fans, and yet you blow this up. Has history not shown WWE that, hey, when you act too much in haste, because we got to remember something here, and I'm going to bring the chat back up. I'll just be taking it, it's going to be on again, off again, on again, off again. I just want to do that for tonight. But, and I am seeing what you guys are saying in the chat. I see a good question Gino had asked. I'll get to that question in a hot second. But, for me, it's like, WWE, have you not learned from the past when it comes to these stables? Because look at how quick you were to break up the Shield. Look at essentially how quick you were to break up the Nexus. Look at how quick you were to break up the Wyatt family. Look at how quick you were to break up Sanity. You could make the argument that the two stables that seem to have remained intact, and make the argument that they've remained intact a lot longer than some of those names that I had mentioned within recent years, stables that are still intact within the WWE universe. You could make an argument for Imperium. And you can make an argument, you could have made the argument, but now it's no more, by a few weeks. But what's the stable I'm thinking of? Adam Cole, baby! The Undisputed Era. The Undisputed Era. Okay, those were pretty much your two stables that lasted longer than the other stables that I had just named, right? So this really just, because I don't even think Hurt Business, I'm just kind of playing it back in my mind. It kind of feels like Hurt Business was maybe around, if we were lucky, about 6 months, give or take. I'd be very, very surprised if you were to tell me that Hurt Business was around for a year. I would be very, very surprised if you told me that. But I'm not picturing a year. It kind of feels like this maybe had came together. Well, I know Lashley and MVP, they aligned themselves. What was it? It felt like it was almost summer of 2020. So, my God, I'm just kind of playing it back in my head a little bit here. Wow, nah, you know what, guys? It kind of feels as though, no, time flies. It actually has been about a year that the Hurt Business, it actually has been a year. That's a little bit surprising. That's a little bit surprising. It doesn't feel like it, right? It doesn't feel like it. It feels like, and you know why it probably doesn't feel that way? Because you could make the argument that the Hurt Business has been really on a roll for these past 5, maybe 6 months. And that's where the enthusiasm and the trance, of the fascination of this stable has really grabbed onto the fans. That's when it really, really started taking off. And so, to my point, even if they were together for a year, these past 5 to 6 months, they were really starting to find their peak as a stable, barely scratching the surface. And WWE missed out on another really good opportunity right here with this stable. To Gino's point, do I think Benjamin and Alexander will still be a tag team? That's a good question. I mean, if it were up to me personally, I would like to see them remain a tag team. I think the tag team division, at least for the Raw side of things, the tag team division needs all the help it can get. Yeah, I've said it off and on within recent weeks, definitely within the past 2 to 3 weeks. We've gotten to a point where, in regards to WWE, with the New Day particularly, fans are starting to get a little bit played out on New Day. Fans are starting to get a little bit tired of New Day. They're about ready to see New Day just go on hiatus for an extended period of time. I don't know if maybe they need to go the heel route or what, but, fans are starting to get pretty annoyed with them and the dominance over on the tag team division side of things for Raw. So, I'm like this. Shelton Benjamin and Alexander, all the greatest potential in the world as a tag team, and they should continue to be a tag team and really help out the division and everything. As far as eventual singles run and everything, I would like to actually see both men go back to successful singles career runs, particularly for Shelton Benjamin. I liked what I saw between him and Lashley tonight, right down to the point. If you were to, and I really hope WWE truly entertains this. You've got a nice built-in program there if you ever want to come back to it, particularly after WrestleMania is said and done. You can easily go back and have Shelton and Lashley fight for that championship, for like the next 2 pay-per-views, again, after WrestleMania. I don't know where things are with Brock Lesnar. We just got to assume, if Lesnar isn't back by now, I don't know if you're going to, my wishful thinking as far as what I think could possibly happen with regards to Lesnar, if WWE isn't thinking ahead and is saying to themselves, you know what, let's see if we could do something with Lashley and Lesnar at SummerSlam. Okay, if that's what they're thinking with Lesnar, I'm cool with that. But like in the interim, I think for about 2, maybe 3 good months there, you could do something really cool. You could do something really special there with Shelton Benjamin, to the point, you're essentially building up his stock, putting him in that main event, picture scene, if you will. And then, once it's all said and done, you can pretty much don't have him start essentially from scratch. But you could essentially just, have him be, in that United States Intercontinental Championship tier and pretty much, go from there. I think that would be, pretty cool. Please do not ask me, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, please do not ask me about the Bella Twins. Now, if my show has given you any indication over the years, y'all should know that when it comes to the Bella Twins, I don't particularly care for the Bella Twins. I'm not particularly fond of the Bella Twins. So please don't ask me about stuff that is not directly connected to where we are right now with the current landscape of WWE If you want to pose a question to me that's wrestling or non-wrestling related, I can respect that. But don't ask me my thoughts about, hey, I ain't seen the Bella Twins. Don't ask me that. Don't ask me that, because I don't care about the Bella Twins. I don't. I'd give two fucks not about the Bella Twins. Some of you guys might. Me personally, I don't give a damn. Can we stay on topic? Because we only gonna do an hour, and I'm telling you guys, y'all gonna be real pissed when we get to that hour and we ain't even finished, talking about what we need to be talking about. All right, so let's all, if you got questions, let's try to stay on topic and keep it aligned to what we're doing here tonight. I like Gino's comment here, staying on topic. He says, I think they should just have one set of tag titles because the main roster just don't have a stacked tag team division. Yeah, I mean, you can make the argument. Remember, it was a couple of months ago I had said, like twice over the past couple of months, I had counted how many championships were in the WWE that's currently active. And it's fucking ridiculous. I think it's like 20-something titles or something like that. It was a ridiculous number. And I just remember after I went through the list, a lot of you guys were like, okay, I knew there were a lot of titles, but I didn't realize there were that many titles that's active in the WWE. That's another option that they honestly could do. It would save on so much. It really, really would. And it would make all the sense in the world right now because everything's under the same umbrella, and it's probably going to continue to be under the same umbrella. By umbrella, I mean arena, pretty much where everybody's doing their thing right now. It's probably going to continue to remain that way for a great duration of 2021. So if you wanted to deactivate a title, essentially do a title unification joint, and pretty much, nice way for you to deactivate one and have the other tag titles remain active and pretty much bounce between the shows. Yeah, you could definitely, the question is that something that WWE would definitely entertain? Only time is really going to tell. But anything is possible with regards to that question about Shelton and Cedric. Anything is possible, just how it's possible Shelton could be feuding with Lashley. Let's not forget, and look, that match that we had, although it was brief tonight, I did enjoy seeing Shelton Benjamin face off against Lashley one-on-one. That was, I need to see WWE revisit that again after Mania. I think they're, truly, I'm not just saying that, I really believe they're on to something that's a bit magical there. Seeing Shelton in there tonight, I just had got goosebumps. I was having flashes back to one of my most favorite times of Shelton Benjamin's entire career, and that was when he made his debut, and he essentially had got not one, not two, but 3 consecutive victories weekly against Triple H. You guys remember that? That for me was just like, oh man, the gold standard. Oh, somebody's got Triple H's number. What the fuck? And I mean, when you just go back to that infamous run and everything, I mean, Shelton was just off to such a good ass white hot start. And, then afterwards it just, but now that it seems everything has come full circle, for Shelton and everything, I don't know, it just feels like the timing is right. Do I dare say maybe within the next 3 years, we could be looking at a Shelton Benjamin world champion? It's possible. It's very well possible. But for now, I'll settle on the man. Just being involved in the picture and continuing to be in that U.S. Intercontinental Championship ring and everything. Match against Lashley was very short. Lashley getting the best of Shelton, but there's going to be another match next week where Hurt Business former members are going to be at it again. Next week we're going to see Cedric Alexander, who's going to be going one-on-one with Lashley. And this pretty much was the result of both men, Shelton and Cedric that is, going backstage, finding Adam Pearce, giving him a tongue lashing because they didn't appreciate getting embarrassed by Lashley. They wanted to prove their worth and face him one-on-one. So Shelton Benjamin was this week. Cedric Alexander faces Lashley next week. So that should be, pretty interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens between Cedric and Lashley for next week. How we doing on Showtime, by the way? Let's see what's going on with that. Where's my recorder? Oh, good. We're doing pretty good. We got about over 30 minutes of Showtime so far. All right, so we're doing pretty good. Let's keep rocking and rolling here. Another thing I had enjoyed tonight, Sheamus, Matt Riddle. I gotta tell you, man, Sheamus. I'm getting my S's mixed up there. I apologize about that. Sheamus for the month of March has been my MVP. I don't know how it's been for some of you as watchers. I don't know how it's been for some of my fellow colleagues / amigos in the podcasting world, but for me, Sheamus has been the MVP for the month of March because he has been going out there on an entirely different level compared to everybody else on the roster. Yeah, it's almost as if Sheamus has had this thing on his shoulders where he just refuses to go out there and just put on a half-ass execution of a match. He wants to go out there and just hit a fucking home run. And he has been the home run king for the month of March as far as I'm concerned. Good match against Matt Riddle. Damn good match against Matt Riddle. Loved it. Fucking loved it. And his match against Riddle, loved how physical it was. I love the fact that these guys just off the break, they were clicking so well. From the moment that you saw the little spot backstage with the scooter, you're going, okay, this a little corny, but it's got potential. This actually might be good for both of these guys. Let's see what happens. And then to get the match that we got tonight, fucking A. Yeah, I really had enjoyed this. As far as matches of the night for this week's Raw, I got to give it up to Sheamus and Riddle, hands down. Love the great back and forth. I love the false finishes. Just when you thought, well, that's pretty much it. That's over with. Like, not near fall. And you're like, damn, and it just kept going back and forth. Loved it. Sheamus picking up the dub. Riddle being very sore post-match, returning the same gesture that Sheamus bestowed upon him last week with the cheap shot out of nowhere. Riddle attacking Sheamus from behind, telling him, we ain't done. We ain't done by a long shot. So it was also nice seeing that fired up Matt Riddle. I wish it could have ended right there with Riddle, but for some odd reason, we see Riddle later on in the night, which was just, I didn't see. This is where we had a little bit of good, but then we had a little bit of shit. So, you know how that is sometimes. You gotta go through the shit before you get rewarded sometimes. So we get Matt Riddle later on in the night backstage. He bumps into Asuka. You can go on the Facebook page at the RCWR Show and you can see this for yourself if you had missed it. But Riddle runs into Asuka. He's asking her how she's doing and everything, and if she's ready for that women's championship match at Mania and everything. And then he poses the question if scooters are popular in Japan. And Asuka, yeah. She's doing her little thing. And Matt Riddle has a brain fart live on TV. It's so fucking hilarious. He actually says to Asuka, scooters in Japan, I'm sorry, I forgot, what I was supposed to say next. So, yeah. And he just walks off the set. He just fucking walks off the set. And you got Asuka just standing there, and she has this shitting grin on her face. She's looking like, I can't believe this dude just left in the middle of his scene. Get your ass back over. She kind of had that type of look on her face. And I don't know how the commentators fucking clean that up. I want to say somebody I can't remember who it was, but somebody said something along the lines of Matt Riddle in his own little world, as always, something along those lines. It was nice, but I had a nice hearty laugh because it made me like Riddle even more. I know there's going to be a lot of people that's going to be, how can you forget your lines? Honestly, one of the first things I was reminded of, and I saw it was a thing at one point on the social media, definitely in some of the discords, I saw that some people were just so quick to go with the Sid Vicious Jim Ross backstage interview. Oh man, oh man, wait a minute, I gotta do that over. And you got Jim Ross and a do over, pal. We're live. East Coast, West Coast, we're live. It's like I just looked at Matt Riddle, just going, damn, dude. I can't get mad at Matt Riddle. I can't get mad at these stars. I can't. Look, we already know, we've known for a good amount of years now, especially from the talents that are very outspoken in interviews, that a lot of what the talents are saying in WWE is very, very scripted, and it's pretty much, this is matter of fact, stick to the script, don't go too much off the cuff, have at it. And, for me, just seeing Riddle kind of flub there, my whole thing was, now see, I wouldn't be surprised if there was some type of a report that it gets made up. Look out for this. I've been doing the podcasting, interviewing folks, writing editorials and all that for wrestling sites. I've been around the block enough all these years to know when shit's about to go down. Peep this out for those of you that like, reading some shit on the dirt sheets and all that. Don't be surprised if you see a report this week that says Vince McMahon was described to be very furious with Matt Riddle for forgetting his lines during the live Monday Raw broadcast, and that his push may be in jeopardy as a result, or that Vince McMahon is now having second thoughts about Riddle after his botch promo performance on this week's Raw. Look out for little stuff like that. And what I want you to really pay very close attention to is notice how the people are going to be saying, well, according to their sources. That's the main thing. They're going to be like their sources. Or they're going to be saying, we heard, per our sources. No, fuck all that. Fuck all that. You should be able to say, hey, some dumb fuck from, blah, 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 wrestling is cool 247.com, said that they spoke to upper management, that works in WWE, and you should be able to say something along those lines. You should be able to say something along the lines of, speaking directly with wrestlers on the main roster, for the 2 flagship shows. You should be able to say something like that. You don't be going in with no cock-ass, half-assed, according to sources. But look out for that. I bet you that's what's going to be going around. I'm calling bullshit. Already. All right, but peep that out. But Riddle, it was nice seeing that little hiccup. I know Matthew from Botchamania is going to have a field day with that. I'm just waiting patiently. I can't wait to see the next episode of Botchamania because he's going to include that shit on there. Can't wait to see what the hell he does with that. So I'm looking forward to that. By the way, we're talking about a couple of hiccups and fuck-ups during the broadcast. One other significant one was Lashley calling the WWE title shot opportunity. He said tattle, kind of like you're going to tattletale on someone. He said he was going to give somebody a WWE tattle opportunity. and that right there, those two are going to be making Botchamania this week, man. Good shit right there. Other than that, a lot of what happened on Raw tonight was the shits. How anybody as a wrestling fan could sit through the heaves and heaves and heaves of shit that came our way after some of these good moments. How anybody was able to stick around for the full 3 hours is beyond me. For example, that horrific Shane McMahon segment. Now, Braun Strowman is brains for dumb or whatever the fuck, and showing the Braun Strowman report card and all this other silly little stupid shit. Cringe, just cringe big time over that. That for me was... Let me tell you something. If you watch Raw tonight, you saw a really cool spot with this little white boy that was gifted with this life-size, I don't know if it was like a FanDuel poster or what, but he was given a life-size poster of Hulk Hogan that was on his wall. And he's cutting this really cool, enthusiastic, charismatic promo. Little kid's got to be about maybe, what was he? He seemed like he was probably 8, 9, maybe even 10 years old, give or take. And he is just going with the flow. I mean, it was the cutest, but most energetic thing I had saw on the broadcast tonight over the piles of garbage that we were watching. And I just, no bullshit, I said, man, give me this little kid at WrestleMania. Give me him instead of Shane McMahon and Braun Strowman. Give me that kid instead at Mania. Right? Or just take Shane McMahon out of the entire equation and figure something out between the little kid and Braun, and we're good to go. All right. I'm not feeling this whole Shane McMahon thing. I'm not. It is the ultimate channel clicker. It is the ultimate. Wait a minute. Why are we watching this? Why is this on my TV again? Yeah, it's just. And you're supposed to use this as a selling point for folks to, oh yeah, you want to check out Peacock because at WrestleMania, oh man, we got this. It's kind of like, what else you got? Hey, we want you to cough up the $54.95, for the pay-per-view because you get to see this. And it's, what else you got? Yeah, just not cool. Not fucking cool. Drizzling shits. That was, I'll say this, WWE, because I've been binging on it the past couple of weeks. WWE could learn a thing or two from watching a show like Cobra Kai. If you're gonna have Shane McMahon be, an antagonist and all this other shit, take a page out of Cobra Kai. Take a page out of Cobra Kai. You should be having Shane McMahon running around acting like Kreese right now. That's how you really should be having him operate right now. And maybe Braun Strowman should kind of, maybe be, maybe he should be Johnny to a certain degree, or maybe he's Robbie to a certain degree. Just going with this stale, worn out, juvenile, not energetic, nobody gives a fuck story arc. That's all I gotta say. The Bad Bunny segment with Miz, that was just cringeworthy. I have to keep reminding myself that it was only a couple of weeks ago that Miz was a WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And, it's just totally unexplained to me. It never was fully resolved of Miz, hey, I got screwed out of my WWE Championship, but I'm going to do any and everything possible to find some type of a loophole, to find some type of a way I can maneuver myself into becoming a WWE champion yet again. Gone is that. Miz just loses the fucking WWE championship and, it's almost like somebody from Men in Black just walked up to Miz. Your title opportunity, your championship run, it never happened. Just go back to doing what you were doing before, and just all of a sudden, Miz wakes up the next day and boom, feud with Bad Bunny. No fucking sense to me whatsoever. Storyline continuity here. You would have thought that of all the people that would maybe kind of take advantage of this whole bounty thing and all that, you would think Miz and Morrison would maybe, okay, Lashley wants, okay, well, you know what? Not for nothing. Again, storyline continuity. Hey, we essentially scratched MVP and Lashley's back. Okay, and they've got this opportunity here where, well, shit, okay, well, why don't we go ahead and capitalize here? Why don't we go ahead and do this? What's up? Very odd. Very, very odd. Very, very questionable booking, I have to say. New Day, AJ Styles, Omaze, playing charades. Gave two shits not. Wasn't funny. Wasn't entertaining. Drizzling shits. And it's quite surprising to say that, because you know how charismatic and all AJ Styles is and everything. And Omaze, people are coming around the Omaze. They're pretty okay. Can't wait to see what the big man does at Mania. They're very curious and they're legit rooting this guy on before he even does his thing at Mania. But to see this whole silly little charades thing, that had played out tonight, I mean, to each its own. Look, I'm not being a Debbie Downer. I'm all for, hey man, corny, funny, something that's comedic and, hokey dokey. I'm all fine for that. The only things I care about, it's entertaining, and I at least walk away with a chuckle. If I have neither of those things, not good. Not good. So that's just where I stand on that one. Cool point. Love seeing Drew McIntyre walk around challenging everybody on the roster that he came within sight of. Is it you? Has MVP and Lashley acquired your services? Is it you that's maybe stepping up to the challenge? Come on. Take me out. I love seeing him get in the face of Drew Gulak, headbutting the shit out of him, taking him out. Going face to face with Braun Strowman. Braun basically saying, hey, look, nah, man, I don't give a fuck about, what's going on between you and Lashley right now. My plate is a little bit full with McMahon, but I tell you what, after I get done with McMahon at WrestleMania, whatever happens between you and Lashley for that championship at Mania, just know I'm coming for one of you guys. Whichever one of y'all got the title, you're going to be seeing me. So Drew respected that, left Braun alone, got in the face next of Rico, as I like to call him, Ricochet. Ricochet saying, nah, man, you should know my history as far as with the Hurt Business and all that. Nah, I don't get down like that. You want to talk about presenting an opportunity? Sure. I'll gladly step up to the plate, face you for an opportunity, and get it done the right way. I'll challenge you to a match tonight. I'll see you out there. How about that? Drew respected the hell out of that, accepted the challenge. For the couple of minutes that match was on for, it's pretty good. McIntyre picking up the dub, of course. Not really surprising by any stretch. Post-match, where things really got interesting, we saw Drew McIntyre grab the microphone, called out Lashley because he was getting sick and tired of the mind games. He just, at that point, wanted for Lashley to face him like a man, head to head. Lashley would come out. Two guys start brawling and everything. Next thing you know, you got SmackDown's King Corbin that was on the scene, helping out the WWE champion Lashley. Raw pretty much going off with that numbers game. And nobody came out to help out Drew McIntyre. Nobody came out. They pretty much just left that alone. So King Corbin. I'm fine with that nice little surprise element to it there. But the one thing that had a lot of us, I didn't comment on it If you notice, I didn't say anything, but I thought it was a really cool idea. I loved how some of you were very quick to observe that Samoa Joe was not on commentary tonight. No reports, right? Nothing is out there right now about Samoa Joe as far as, personal matters he had to attend to. There's nothing that's out right now. I even looked up his social media activity. Samoa Joe didn't have anything out there for the day. So, not really sure what's going on with Samoa Joe, but I love the fact that a lot of you guys were going, Samoa Joe's not there. Hey, how badass would it be if maybe Samoa Joe is the one that accepts the bounty, takes out Drew, and essentially that's how Lashley retains the title. All right, we're going to get Samoa Joe back. I like that idea. We'll have to see what happens next week, though, with the batch of WWE programming. You guys that were suggesting that, y'all might be on to something. I don't know. When we get ready to talk about predictions and everything for the WrestleMania card, y'all are giving me something to heavily consider that could happen at Mania. On commentating tonight in place of Samoa Joe, we got MVP. And MVP, that was a good audible. Damn good call, having MVP in Samoa Joe's place. I love the energy that he had brought. I loved how outspoken he was. I almost to a degree had shades of, hey, remember when Samoa Joe sounded totally fucking cool commentating and it didn't come off as though there were some type of shackles on him? He just pretty much was just being quick-witted and, whatever was coming to his mind and just being charismatic about it. I got that same kind of flow from MVP tonight. So it was good seeing MVP on commentary. Hopefully we get him next week. If we get him again next week, y'all might be on to something that's saying Samoa Joe. Y'all definitely might be on to something. But other than that, I'm just trying to think offhand if there was anything else for Monday Night Raw that we need to be talking about before we get ready to switch it up for a hot little bit here. Bear with me a second here, and let me just look at some of the other action that came about tonight. Other than those key points, squash match that Braun had against Jason Riker, yawn. Look here. Oh yeah. This was my bathroom break, but Shayna Baszler was in action against Naomi. Naomi picking up the dud. Yeah. See. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what? After Drew McIntyre defeated Ricochet, Mustafa Ali came out. I almost forgot about that. Mustafa Ali was trying to step up to the plate and accept that bounty challenge by MVP and Lashley. McIntyre making quick work out of him. A lot of extremely short matches tonight. A lot of WTF. This was probably one of the worst produced Raws this quarter. And so significant, too, as we get ready to embark to WrestleMania. It wasn't really their best outing. The Rhea Ripley spot where there was the contract signing with Asuka, that was okay. I know a lot of people were paying attention to that, wondering what was going to be going on with Charlotte. Maybe she was going to make an appearance or not, because, per Andrade, she's clear of her COVID and everything. So no appearance from Charlotte. Rhea Ripley, tired of hearing Asuka, yeah, pretty much through the table after the contract signing, pretty much through the table in Asuka's face, and Asuka pretty much having her Brady Bunch moment. Oh, my nose! And the team of Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler coming out, just scoffed at the idea of Rhea Ripley coming to the scene, demanding a championship match at Mania, but more disappointed in Asuka for accepting such an opportunity when, pretty much there was already talent on that Raw roster, girls that have been busting their ass that, rightfully should, like Asuka and like Nia Jax and Shayna, basically kind of putting themselves over that they should be in the spot instead, while also putting the spotlight on the fact that they have yet to be put in a WrestleMania spot for that weekend. So they challenged Asuka and Rhea Ripley to a tag match for next week. While Asuka was picking herself up from the floor, just struggling there, Rhea Ripley accepted the challenge. So now you've got that little bit of turmoil that's going on as far as next week to go home to Mania. It's kind of safe to assume Asuka's got a receipt. She's going to be cashing in on Rhea Ripley there, but I hope for what it's worth. I hope that match gets at least about 12 minutes because you got some good names there and you can have yourself a nice, good quality of a matchup and everything. Miz and Morrison with their hey, ho, ho, no, too slow, go, home, sucky, bye. I didn't care for that. Way too fucking long. If you were smoking a big fatty, that buzz got real fucked up with those guys on the TV. It was just the ultimate drizzling shits. But yeah, overall, very poorly executed episode of Raw. Other than some of those bright spots I had talked about, very, very undesirable of a episode. To the point, let's see what you guys had to say in the poll there that we got up on the youtube.com/the RCWR Show, and click on the communities tab. Only place we're doing a poll tonight. Let's see what you guys had to say about this week's Raw. Kept it sweet, kept it simple, gave you 3 options: thumbs down, thumbs up, staying in the middle. A little bit early, but right now 100% of you are giving it a thumbs down, and that definitely kind of reflects just a little bit that I saw on social media tonight, because I was lost doing a little bit of studying while I had Raw on the TV and everything. But as I was also paying attention to the social media feeds, yeah, you guys were pretty much going, oh man, this is unbearable to watch. Yeah, I feel you. Trust me, I feel you. I feel your pain, my fellow American. Really, I feel your pain. Won't you come on down here and try yourself a nice big piece of my Bubba sandwich? Anyway, the RCWR Show brought to you by our good kind familia over at patreon.com/RCWR Show. Join the RCWR Show Nation and get yourself access to bonus audio video content you won't be able to find anywhere else. Over the weekend, we finally had put up a deluxe edition of 30 with Lee, reviewing the new Snyder's Cut of the Justice League film. Also did a new episode of Wrestling with the Topics. So those were fun. Had a blast doing those with the missus as always. So check those out. Shout out to our Patreon familia though. $5 a month, get access to bonus content. Shout out to Anthony DeBlasi, Don Tony. Happy belated birthday to him once again, and speedy recovery. Apparently he sprained his foot and it is swollen like a mofo. Ooh, it just, when you look at it, ooh, hideous, just hideous. Shout out to Gino Morgan, Freddie, Justin Ripstock. Shout out to J Davis, Michael Wolf, Tony Bean Gaming. You want the latest in all things Marvel Strike Force, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, Marvel's Avengers, tips, tricks, news, walkthroughs, and reviews. Tony Bean Gaming on YouTube. He's got your hookup. He's got a Patreon paywall as well. Shout out to the RCWR Nation via Patreon. Also, shout out to Wishful Walking Videos. Make sure you get at them on YouTube. Just use keywords Wishful Walking Videos. RVD, the whole effing show. 5-star frog splash. Van Daminator is WWE Hall of Fame bound. Our boy is going into the WWE Hall of Fame. It's about damn time. Long, I'm not gonna say long overdue. But I am a little bit surprised he didn't go in. There's a part of me that's a little surprised he didn't go in, like maybe 3-5 years ago. I don't know why, but there was a part of me that was kind of expecting him to go in about 3 to 5 years ago. I got no problem with RVD going into the WWE Hall of Fame for all of his contributions that he made to the sport of professional wrestling. Look, we can all be in agreement too that when it came to his last run in Impact Wrestling in particular, look, I love RVD. Love RVD. His wife, Katie Forbes, I love her. I love her. I love checking out her stuff on social media. She seems like a sweetheart. Tries to do her best to. She seems like the type that tries to do her best to, be interactive with her fans. Show love that she does see their tweets and interactions on her content and everything. She's pretty. Her social media game's on point. And not to mention, she stays posting some raunchy ass pics. I tell you what, man, you got it, you flaunt it, right? Hey, for some within reason. But for all his contributions that he's made to the sport of pro wrestling, let alone just the ECW history alone and everything, fuck yeah, this makes a lot of sense. But man, when you just look at that last run that he had in Impact Wrestling, if you were to ask me, does that hurt his overall legacy? No, not at all. Not at all. Because when you watch that last run that he had in Impact, it was kind of rough. I gotta tell you, I did not enjoy that run. I did not enjoy that run whatsoever. I barely tolerated the feud with Sami Callihan. I don't know if you guys remember that one, but I barely tolerated that. So I can't wait to see him go in. I wonder who's gonna be his inductor? I wonder who's gonna be his inductor. I wonder if it's maybe gonna be Paul Heyman. I mean, that would kind of make a lot of sense, right? Perfect world. Yeah, Paul Heyman. That seems to make the most sense. I wonder how that's gonna go. I'm very, very curious how that's gonna go. Speaking of Rob Van Dam, I actually got a really cool autograph of him. I had got it and I can only imagine that the prices are now going to skyrocket since he's going to be going into the WWE Hall of Fame. But I actually have a signed picture of Rob Van Dam holding the WWE and the ECW championship. That y'all remember that infamous moment. I actually got that. I've yet to hang that up on the wall. I keep eyeballing it though. I got the frames. I just got to get some free time to actually hang it up and everything. I would hope that also with RVD being part of the 2021 Hall of Fame class, that also puts RVD in a position where we're going to be seeing some WWE original content featuring him. I would love to see a WWE 24/7 special on RVD. I would definitely love to see a Table for 3 edition. Make it an extreme edition. Give me RVD. Give me RVD, Jerry Lynn, Sabu, or give me RVD, Sabu, Paul Heyman, or give me RVD, Sabu, Tommy Dreamer. How I wish in a perfect world we could have Taz. That would be so fucking perfect. So fucking perfect. Or you give me RVD, the franchise, Shane Douglas, and Raven. There's just so many cool ass ECW Table for 3 joints that you can do. It's fucking sick. And while we're talking about ECW, I need to see a new ECW doc. I can never get enough talk of ECW. It's funny too, because somebody had asked me a couple of weeks ago about ECW, and I was like, nah, I'm not particularly, because the question they asked was, do I, go back and watch the EC? I gotta be in that zone to want to go watch a vintage ECW match, because I pretty much kind of lived through most of ECW. I try to block out the WWE rebooted version of ECW. Like, for me, I have no recollection of that. Hint, hint. But, yeah, I need to see a new ECW documentary. If you get me a ECW documentary, you can really do it some justice, especially now that you got some of these guys that are free, kind of not really doing anything right now, especially because of this whole pandemic and everything. If anything, they're doing some signings at a convention or whatever, but independent convention. But other than that, they aren't really doing anything. I would love it if you could get Tommy Dreamer, the Dudley Boys, Spike Dudley, franchise Shane Douglas, Sabu, Terry Funk. The list just goes on and on. There's a lot you can do there now that so many of these guys are available. You're trying to make sure you're pumping out new content for the WWE. Just saying. But we'll see. Usually WWE, they already are thinking ahead for the most part, but we'll see what goes down with that. So he's going into the WWE Hall of Fame. Very excited for that. Congrats to RVD. Looking forward to seeing the man do his thing in there. Let's see. Other than that, shout out to Charlie Caruso. You guys probably had heard. She signed a multi-year deal with ESPN. In an Instagram post, she pretty much signed off from WWE, thanking those in WWE that were so kind to her, very instrumental in her career over the years that she was there and everything, and thanking the fans, the loyal WWE fan base and everything, hoping they'll continue to support her in her new endeavors and everything. It's a significant blow without a shadow of doubt. I know some people are Charlie, is the beginning of the end for her because, she was late to an interview, and supposedly she was late to interview Randy Orton, or she was, I'm not gonna bite into that. I don't believe in that whatsoever. That just, it doesn't make sense to me, whatsoever. I would not trust those dirt sheets, in their reporting and everything. I would say, if anything, and I'm going to make a bold prediction too, don't be too surprised if Renee Young, of all people, don't be too surprised if Renee is able to secure an interview with Charlie Caruso, and talk about her time in WWE and everything. Renee seems to be pretty on point when it comes to her interviewing. I've listened to some snippets and everything, read a few transcripts, and she's pretty good. She's got a really great approach with regards to her interview style and everything. Don't be too surprised if, the subject of, hey, so apparently you were late to some interviews, don't be too surprised if maybe Renee, may somehow kind of dance around extracting, the truth from that or whatever. But I look at that little report bogus. I think when it's all said and done, Charlie Caruso's workload with ESPN, she had impressed the right people, and they pretty much were, hey, we want to give you this. Hey, we want to give you that. Hey, we want to give you this. Guys, girls, what typically happens when, you decide, hey, I want something more for myself in life than this one job that I'm designated to right now. I like to be doing, a little bit more than just this. There's got to be more to life than just this, right? And you go out of your way to try to find that, okay, what's next? What's really going to make me happy career path wise? And, you are looking in, who knows? You're looking in the newspaper. You're looking on Monster. You're looking on Indeed, right? Or you're looking on Facebook. I know that's something that people do nowadays for job leads. They are actually looking at stuff. Excuse me. They're looking at stuff on Facebook. And, you find something that, hey, this is right up my alley. This is something I'm very passionate about. You go in, you're already working at one other place. You're not willing to go all balls out and just quit that other job, but you kind of want to have that just be right there while you're doing your little thing, testing the waters a little bit with the new job and see how that goes. And after a few months, hey, I really like what's going on with this new side gig over here. I want to try to spend more time over there and kind of backtrack a bit, scale it back with the old job. And eventually, it may get to a point where you say, okay, you know what? I'm done. I'm ready to move on from the old job. I want to embrace this new job head on. Or that old job puts you in a difficult position where, hey, we expect you to do da 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 da, and it's like, okay, but I'm doing this over here now, and well, if it's going to be like that, I'll give you my notice. My point, we don't really know what the real deal was with Charlie's tenure in the WWE and the whole ESPN thing and everything. We just got to deal with the facts, which is she got an opportunity to, really pursue something that she really, really loves and has, a great passion for, and expand her portfolio, her resume and all that even more, being incorporated with ESPN on a full-time basis, especially during a pandemic too. It's like, it's a good grab. It's a damn good grab. ESPN is getting one hell of a talent. And, Charlie Caruso is, definitely a testament to, stay passionate, follow your career goals and everything. Don't just settle. If you want more for yourself, go out there and fucking get it. Enough said. So don't be paying attention to some of that speculatory shit that's floating around online about her and her exit for the company, possible reasons, and all that other shit. Other than that, I see that there's some stuff with Andrade. I'm not really sure if you guys were aware of this, but Andrade, he had recently spoke about his time in WWE and everything. One of the things that he touched upon was how he left a $3 million contract. He was getting $3 million a year while employed with the WWE. And as you all know, like, wait a minute, from NXT and then going into, main roster, $3 million a year. You hear the figures of what the NXT talents are usually averaging and all that. So WWE, very, very kind to him. And yet, this was a case right here where, he decided, nah, you know what? I want to go do something else. And he also talked about how, there was one point where he had a match against Drew McIntyre, and the powers that be told him, go out there, put Drew over. He's our champion. Make him look like $1 million. But then when he was talking to Drew says to him, hey, look, don't be so concerned about trying to put me over, because I'm already on top. I'm already a champion and everything. I want you to go out there and wrestle like you normally wrestle. I want you to go out there and put on a virtuoso performance. So here was Drew essentially, no, I want to try to elevate. My man Andrade. And then he had a conversation with Randy Orton. He bumps into Randy Orton backstage, and Randy Orton's like, what the hell are you doing back here? Why aren't you being utilized? Why aren't you having a match? What's going on? So that's how much respect Randy has for Andrade. And, he just pretty much started connecting all the dots, and he just decided, nah, you know what? Enough is enough. I'm just ready to go do my own thing. I want to just, and I'm out of here. So again, it kind of goes back to what we were talking about last week and everything, which is remember what I was remember what I was telling you as far as like my gut instinct from afar about, here's a guy that it all ties to what we just talked about with Charlie Caruso, which was, hey, are you just going to settle with the hand that you've dealt for yourself, career path wise and all that? Or are you going to say, nah, you know what? I'm not just going to settle on this hand. I want to shake it up. I want to make sure that I'm living life to the fullest. And I'm not just going to, the average person would, hey, $3 million, I'm not really being utilized. I'm just sitting on my ass over here, chilling and catering or at the hotel, banging a hot ass girlfriend, soon to be wife. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Or it's okay. Do you shake up the system a little bit and you jump out there on that market and do what you need to do in the pursuit of happiness? And he decided the latter. So you got to respect that. Like I said from last week or whatever, it's all about, that integrity. It's a great trait, man. It's a great trait. When you got somebody that's rolling like that, it's like that says a lot about that person's integrity, man. It says a lot about that person's character. You just can't help but walk away from that and say, damn, mad fucking respect. Because not most people would fucking do that. And that's the straight up honest truth. There's some more stuff that Andrade had touched upon that has to do with Charlotte. But we'll get into that on Wednesday, because some of the stuff that he had said, it was kind of, whoa, this went down? Say what? But other than that, the rest of the little tidbits of news that we got, we can actually get into Wednesday because it's more NXT related, it's more AEW related and everything. So we'll get into it on Wednesday. And I want you guys to think about wrestling, non-wrestling related questions that you maybe want to shoot my way on Wednesday, because I want to try to have the Wednesday shows be more of, we talk NXT and all that, but we can definitely do a Q&A joint as well. Mondays I like to try to keep it, because I already know what I want to talk about. We try to have the focal point be about Raw and everything. I try to not really do the Q&A unless it ties to the Raw show or the little tidbits of news that I'm talking about. You're kind of bouncing off of that. But the Wednesday shows is, if you got Q&As, that's where you want to submit your Q&As for the Wednesday shows. And probably what I'll actually start doing as a way to kind of remind you and, kind of get the ball rolling, I think Tuesdays I'll start putting up a thread on YouTube, since a lot of you guys mainly tune in via YouTube. And you guys can just pretty much submit questions that way. And, I can pretty much just do it like that. I can pull it and pretty much be ready to go. You can still submit, live when I'm on the air as well. But if you kind of want to get the ball rolling, you can definitely do it when I have the thread posted and everything. So let's see how we did here tonight. So we got you guys pretty much about an hour 18 of a show. So I want an extra couple of minutes for you guys, but we're still getting out of here at a decent time. So I like it. I'll take it, and I'm gonna enjoy it for what it's worth. Like I said, my work schedule is pretty hectic this week since we got Easter coming up this weekend. And I got some homework that I need to just, and then on top of that, I'm trying to figure out my summer semester of classes. I wasn't sure if the college was offering credit courses during the summer. But one of my professors had reached out to me and said, no. There's actually credit courses offered during the summer, So yeah, you can keep if you want to go all year round, baby, go ahead. I'm like, oh, nice. Thank you. Yeah. But yeah, that's the plan though. I'm doing it all year round. I'm trying to get my associates as quick as possible. So then I can transfer. I got two full colleges / universities I'm eyeballing. I don't know which one I'm going to go to yet. I don't know if I want to do Howard University ultimately, or if I want to do the University of Maryland. You know, I'm like literally when I was fresh out of high school, those were the two I had wanted to go to, but I got talked into going to this little rinky-dinky community college instead. And I'm going to tease you guys with that because there is just, man, it seemed like it was some low down dirty shit that went down with that community college. Remember what ultimately happened with the WWE restaurant in New York? Yeah, well, we kind of like had the equivalent with this community college that has since gone under as a result of their shenanigans. I'll get into that a lot more for you guys on the Wednesday show. But yeah, so I'm trying to figure out what courses I'm going to be taking for the summer. And I ultimately got to get with an academic advisor just to make sure I'm outlining it right and everything. So we'll see how that plays out. But Wednesday, we got a new RCWR show for you guys. We're going to be talking NXT. We're going to be talking AEW. I'll definitely talk about, AEW Dark. I'll definitely talk about NWA Power. So it's going to be a nice loaded deluxe show. Your Q&As. It's going to be a nice deluxe edition. Time ain't even gonna be an enemy, so make sure you tune in for that. All right, and if you ain't check out the Patreon content yet and you're a Patreon member, go make sure you show some love and check out the Patreon content. Meanwhile, be kind, rewind, check out previous episodes you might have missed on demand and on the downloads. You notice tonight I didn't even spam the hell out of it, but I can't stress it enough. If you guys had enjoyed the show tonight, you had a damn good time, please go out of your way. Make sure you hit that like. You can subscribe if you want, but definitely hit the like, hit the subscribe, the little bell notification, so that way you know about more content that comes your way on a weekly basis. All right, those of you tuning in live, appreciate the love and support as always. Those of you that's going to be listening on demand and on the downloads, much love to you guys as always as well. Till next go round, wishing all y'all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. I'll see you this Wednesday night. Y'all take care.